Hello everyone, and welcome to the Doctor Who Series 9 episode review with me, John Parker, and...
Me, Jake Erling, and today we are reviewing the episode Heaven Sent. Now, let me just get these in front of me, because this was indeed a very interesting episode. A very interesting one indeed. And, of course, it is the first part towards the series finale. It is the first part towards the series finale, which also, as well, looks very interesting. But first things first, to the plot. So, the Doctor arrives after dealing with the death of his best friend from the Face the Raven. And, of course, the Doctor is mad, he's angry, he's looking for revenge. And he ends up in this castle-type place, where soon he learns that this place was, well, purely built for him, as it's the place that he kind of built in his soul, I suppose you could say. It's basically
in his head.
Yeah, it's basically his own version of hell. It's on his own personal hell, shall I say? So basically, he arrives in a place where apparently others before him, and when I say others, I mean other versions of him, have actually tried and attempted to break through this stronger type material, which is stronger than diamond. I forgot what that was.
It was Adzantium or something like that.
Something like that. 10 times as stronger than diamond. And he just kept punching through to try and break down the barrier to get into, where? Gallifrey. And of course, pursuing him was this weird kind of creature thing, which every time it caught up with him, he dies. And as you put it, John, I suppose when you put all that together, it doesn't more or less make sense, but at the same time it was quite an interesting episode.
I don't understand how the hell he got into that confession dial when he got teleported from Face the Raven.
Yeah. It confused me at first, but then when it started to replay it over and over, and then you started to, right, so basically he's been through all this before, and now he's kind of just doing it so that other versions of him can break down and get there in the
How
end.
did he get there? Because he was teleported. Where did he go?
Well, that was obviously the place where he went, but obviously we don't know
Gallifrey,
who.
and then he went into the confession dial
Yeah.
before he started doing anything.
But obviously we don't know who put him there in the first place. The place was also allowing himself, from what I gathered, to face the fact of what he's been through throughout the 2,000 years of his life, and to kind of accept the consequences. So basically, this was more or less his punishment. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to think of it like that.
But why would he punish himself? All he's done,
to make
all the suffering he's caused.
Yeah, to make amends. You know.
And he did it for how long was it now? What was the last year he recorded? I got 60 billion once. Was it 60 billion?
60 billion. That was the last one or something, I think. Yeah.
Very close to, if not. Yeah.
Because he was looking at the stars to kind of see their age, and therefore, obviously, kind of get a bit of a pattern from that. So it's not like he's time traveling. It's that fact that there's dozens of copies stored within that transporter, which was not exactly a normal bog standard teleporter, and I mean, you think about it like that, you think that someone had to put him there in the first place. There's a reason behind it, but I don't.
He did it.
He
must have put the confession dial in when he got to Gallifrey from the teleportation or whatever, or however he got there, because we don't know that part of the storyline yet, or if we ever will. He must have put the confession dial on the ground, activated it, walked through the portal, and that's what happened.
Whoa. Mind blast.
And then immediately, maybe the confession dial, I don't know, somehow hid that memory from his head, so that when he was inside the confession dial, he didn't know that he himself put himself there.
That confession dial that he had in his hand at the very end of the episode must have been it when it was first created. Because at the beginning of the series, that confession dial must have been old already. Because what you just said then about the Doctor doing that, making that place himself. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What?
This all makes kind of sense now. He actually orchestrated the whole entire thing just so he can then get to Gallifrey. This was all planned for at the very beginning, because this was all going to happen. Okay, that makes sense now.
But what about the teleportation part?
That must have been him. A shield
No. Oh, well, carry on.
must have been acting under orders from him, I think. I think this has been all the Doctor's plan the whole time.
But he hated a shield now.
Yeah, because of Clara's decision to kind of, save, what's his name? The dude who painted the TARDIS. I forgot his name. Began with the B, I forgot his name. And obviously the Doctor losing someone. What?
Is my memory going?
No, the dude from Face the Raven, who's got the number on his neck, but Clara transferred it over.
That was it. Okay.
That was the reason why he hated her in the end, because she wouldn't do anything to help Clara, and therefore, you know what the Doctor's like when he gets angry. That's it, gone. He's like another man, like another man after that. But yeah, I think overall, that was his plan. So all in all, an interesting plot, one hell of a twist. But of course, if I am wrong, then I do sincerely apologise for that. But that's what kind of makes sense to me, and that's how the story kind of ties at the very end, and then allows us to go forth to the next episode. So, I've got a headache now after that. Blimey. The one thing I wanted to add to the plot was the TARDIS sequences. Those seem quite important to me.
Can I just say now?
Yeah.
We have a reference for how the TARDIS switches on and off.
Ah, yeah. The roundels going.
The light orders
boom,
and the way the lights come on, the sound effects.
Yeah.
Which means people can now expand a bit more
In Second Life.
on the development of things in Second Life. Yes, and
Yeah.
exactly, and how making it more realistic
Yeah.
and things like that.
Agreed.
It's getting
agreed.
better, and I like it when they show TARDIS scenes because we can just see how they wanted it to look. And it's just very nice.
Agreed.
Carry on, sorry.
But yeah, those TARDIS sequences were very interesting, I thought. Because it kind of... we actually saw, for the first time, the way the Doctor thinks.
Yes.
So, in that, like, 0.00 second of the time when he's about to die or something, or in a certain situation when he's to get himself out of, he goes into a thinking mode, and he uses his TARDIS as a place to think.
Yeah, I mean, imagine the fact that he can think all of that in a few, effectively milliseconds, well, seconds and milliseconds. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I can't think like that.
But of course, he wasn't acting well. He wasn't asking... okay. He was asking himself the question, but he was using someone in his imagination to get the answers.
Yeah.
Which proves...
Even though it was all him himself.
Yeah. Which also goes to show why the Doctor needs companions, why he needs people to be with him. Because if he's alone, he gets nowhere, so to speak. So, that just kind of showed more kind of an importance to how companions are an important role to the Doctor, in his life. But I thought the title sequences showed a lot about how he thinks and how he works stuff out, and I thought it was quite good to see that for the first time. So,
It was.
now the characters, there was only, There's only 2-3 characters at most. The Doctor, Clara's oddly appearances, and obviously that weird raggedy creature, which God knows what that was.
In fact, can I just say, the Clara appearances, I didn't actually think that was going to happen. I thought she'd left the show
For good.
at that point. Yeah.
I think
But
that's just a
obviously she
stand-in.
hasn't.
Well, did you notice the
So
title
obviously
sequence?
doing that as an extra bit.
Did you notice the title sequence?
Do you know I never looked at it?
Peter Capaldi. That was it. His name just hung there for a bit. Jenna Coleman's name was taken out. So, yeah.
I need to rewatch that. But that would be interesting. But hang on, okay, but she was technically credited. I hope she was
Technically.
credited in the end.
I think
in the
she was.
credits.
I think she was from what I can gather, yeah. I think she was. But the one thing with the Doctor, which I'll put nice and big... hang on, no, that's the wrong side. Let me just turn this over. There we go. Which I put there.
Ooh.
The hybrid they mentioned. Now, the hybrid
Yes.
seems to be a big, important, significant role in the next episode. Is the Doctor a human Time Lord hybrid? Is the Doctor the hybrid?
Yeah, I think. Well, he did say himself he was the hybrid, but human Time Lord. Now that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Because as I was saying to Jack earlier, guys, there are technically three ways we know about on how to create a human Time Lord hybrid. There's that Metacrisis method, which goes terribly wrong and doesn't last for very long because of that problem, unless you've got a really strong mind. The second way is the way Amy created
River Song.
River Song. Why don't I'm really bad at names? And then the third way is the proper way, the reproductive way that we know
Yeah,
of.
that everyone knows
So
of.
that's only three ways I can see, but that just is interesting. Imagine if his mom or his dad, one of the two, was a human.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be? And that would make a lot more sense, I think, with how the story started back in William Hartnell's time.
Be
I
weird.
think that makes a little bit more sense. I don't know why, but back then it felt like it was like human-y.
Which explains
But
a
yeah,
lot about the Doctor, doesn't it?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it does because it makes it. Because as we said, I was saying about being a renegade Time Lord. You know, not following the same Gallifreyan rules and
Yeah.
whatnot, and that would make a lot more sense because the human part of him is what's allowing him to listen to his companions and effectively overrule his Time Lord side.
His
The fact that he's done
temperament.
so many things. This why the Time Lords effectively hated him.
Well,
Because
well, they
that
hated
was-
him, but kind of just sort of saw him as an outcast, I suppose.
Mm.
So yeah, it's an odd way this plot and the characters came together in the end, but all the same, I thought it was quite interesting. And as I'll get to my next point, well written. I thought the way it came together, it was very cleverly thought of, very well put together, quite odd. The sequence where it kept repeating itself was quite
A little
unnecessary.
bit long. Well,
Yeah.
well, actually, I don't know whether I suppose I could have cut out a good chunk of it, but it did show how long it took
Yeah.
to break through that adamantium. By the way, I was doing a little research online. Sorry about guys. Apparently, if it was made out of diamond, it's still it doesn't seem likely that a fist punch would be able to break through it either. So on the side of science fiction, that has to be definitely fiction. Because I don't think. I mean, I suppose if you kept doing it over and over and over again for even longer, but it's a really weird debate. But if you look online, some people were thinking, is that realistic enough? And not many people think it is. I don't think. But yeah, it's still an interesting storyline, still an interesting way to think. And not only that, but remember the Doctor said 400 times harder than Diamond. So that's what I was even thinking. I suppose maybe Diamond might be possible, but 400 times harder than Diamond? Getting a bit far-fetched.
What? So it's like, can you punch a wall that's made? Well, yeah, I do agree with what you
Yeah,
say.
I mean, even for the length of time, 60 billion years or whatever it was, it does seem like even Diamond would be quite hard to do that. So with 400 times harder than Diamond, adamantium, or whatever it was, yeah, it seems far-fetched. But that doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is the story was created and it was good. So,
I personally agree, and it was a brilliant story at that. So, overall verdicts. Out of 10, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10.
The last episode looks really good. I can't wait to develop that one. But this one, I would have to say, really, really, really high, touching on the border, 9. Really, really, really high though. I'm thinking about giving it a low 9.5, but I think only because of it was too focusy on that, repeating, and
Agreed.
maybe
But
not
I
enough
think,
story.
I do think overall this is Moffat's best.
Yes, that is true actually. That is true because of Stephen Moffat being the only writer for this one. Well, he was the only writer for this one.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought so because okay, this was one of his. Okay, then you know what? Benefit the doubt. A low 9.5.
Okay. So, folks, that is our review. Odd as it might be, and of course, quite late, but of course, yesterday I was out and about and it was way too late afterwards. So, yeah, an odd review for an odd episode, I'd say, but very, very enjoyable and very interesting. So, next week is obviously the biggest of them all. I can't wait to see how it's all going to turn out in the end, and of course we will reveal at the point of the review.
And also,
Yep.
We don't know whether or not there'll be a video next week.
Yeah.
I don't know what's actually happening. If there isn't a video next week, a standard video apart from the review video, don't worry about it, guys. They will eventually start resuming themselves.
Take a bit
Just
slow
that at the moment, our lives are a bit up and down.
Yeah.
So
pretty much. So until next week, folks. Take care. See you soon, and bye for now.
Bye bye, guys.
That is all we have for today, folks.
Join us again next week on another Sci-Fi Geeks video to find out what adventure we embark on next.
Thank you for watching. Feel free to like and comment on the video below. Remember to subscribe so you can keep up to date with our latest videos.
Till next time,
take care, stay safe, and remember, let
your geeky side out. Toodle pip.